Kenya's mineral deposits include titanium, copper, fluorspar, magadi, and soda. The potential of future revenues from these deposits has motivated the creation of a ministry dedicated to exploration and turning these deposits to profits.
Now the president, within his wisdom, and realized that we have the potential of minerals in this country, he established a ministry of mining to streamline mining. And also, bottom line, the country needs to benefit and the people of Kenya needs to see a difference in their life. We believe the mining sector will transform our economy through its revenue, through its streamlining.
Oil exploration activities in northern Kenya have been a potential cash cow and have attracted interest from both local and foreign investors. Companies such as Talo and Africa Oil are progressing with initial exploration activities.
Apparently the announcement was made last week. It was a surprise to a lot of people. A declaration like that then is certainly a game changer for everybody. People now need to stop looking at it as the cyclical business that I talked about that comes on and then goes off and comes on and goes off. It has to be business that now people prepare to work with for the long term. So in my view, that declaration for the small area, which is Lokicha, and not that I call it a small area, because the Kenya's prospective areas are vast. They are really, really big. So for me, it's good for the economy.
Prospecting and explorations can take up to 10 years with no guarantee of return on investment. The uncertainty has prompted criticism that mining prospects in Kenya may be exaggerated.
Being that it's being asked so many times by current investors and potential investors is why we've been asking the government to do the airborne survey, to have preliminary geodata to assist in answering where are the occurrences of this mineral, to encourage people to then invest in exploration for that, so that we get to know how mineral rich is this country once and for all. Because what we are doing right now is speculating, raising maybe almost some hopes that cannot be substantiated, because then we don't have factual information to back these statements. Yeah. So all we can tell is from existing investors who've done their exploration. Have they found, are there good finds? Is there potential for good finds? And can those finds then substantiate having a large mining project?
At present, mining industry regulation is outdated, with the most recent laws passed in 1947. As a step towards reviewing the sector, the government recently revoked mining licenses which were issued at the start of this year.
If a licensee is proper with all the backing, financial backing, and the processing was transparent and in a legal manner, the licensee is automatically going to be given his license. But if the process was illegal and there's no capacity in terms of actualizing a license, but wanting to use our paper called a license for trading and flipping it over to make money, or hoarding it to make a kill later, that will not be acceptable.
Licensing is very emotive, it's very sensitive, and it's where actually the either exploration or licensing begins. Yeah, so it has to be done in a manner like what we saw in Tanzania. There's a licensing committee or a licensing board with the relevant stakeholders who sit to look at the application. Have you qualified? Have you fulfilled the requirements? Then the license is issued. You know, that way you do not open room for corruption. The system is not opaque. There's a lot of noise about transparency right now in mining. So let's ensure transparency in government. As you're issuing these licenses, you should be able to say, what were the requirements? Who qualified for this license? You know, and then so who have you issued the license to? All right. And this is something that we've been lobbying for as a chamber, that licensing should not be done by an individual. Licensing should either be done by a body that is all-inclusive. Even private sector should sit in that body. Relevant government agencies should sit in that body to determine who is entitled to holding a license in this country.
The government also recommended gazetting new royalties and drilling charges to all mining companies, causing a mixed reaction.
Magadi soda, for example, used to pay 25 shillings per ton, which comes to almost 0.1%. Now they will have to pay a 5% royalty. Fluorspar used to pay less than that at 17 shillings per ton. Now they'll have to pay 5% royalty. Iron ore, before it used to be at 3%, now it's going to go at 8%. Gold used to be at maybe 2.5%. Some are charged less or charged more. It depends on who you know. Now everybody must pay at 5% in gold. Rare earth, niobium, titanium, all have been raised from 2.5% or 5% to 10%, because we believe these are a lot in the country. The country needs to benefit from these minerals, and we need to raise these charges.
The higher the royalty rates, the more the cost of doing business in a particular country, okay? So whereas royalties is a compensation of government for allowing you to extract its minerals, you must also charge reasonable royalties to remain competitive. Royalties that will ensure that the government actually benefit from the extraction of those minerals. Royalty rates that will ensure that the people of Kenya get to benefit from the extraction of the minerals that they essentially own, but royalties that will also ensure that investors do not find it hostile to put their money in this country.
Despite the disagreement on rules between government and private sector, the industry is pressing on.
Historically, companies have drilled on 10% probability of success. 20% probability of success historically has been really very good if you're drilling on 20% probability of success, which then means you are drilling 5 to 8 wells readily prepared that only one of them can be successful. But the one that becomes successful pays for all the others that you have already drilled, and you also get to make quite good profits.
What we say about Kenya is there's no need to reinvent the wheel. Other African countries have gone before us, who have the same minerals, who have the same oil and gas. Let's learn from their mistakes. Let's learn from their successes. Then let's create a model that works. Why should we sink into the same mistakes that other African countries have done? Yet we can learn. So let's learn from destinations that have worked, from countries that have done it well. Let's benchmark with their policies. How have they been able to ensure that their minerals have benefited their countries? And let's take these models and have a model that works for Kenya.
Industry players will be anticipating the outcome of the mining bill, which is currently tabled before Parliament for debate, so as to structure a path for this nascent industry. For Ion Kenya, I am Laban-Cliff Onserio.